Hi, I'm Jagriti from Ignite Bollywood, and we're running through Bollywood Babes series, our dance classes where we explore 8 different feminine archetypes. And today I'll be talking about our second archetype, Kinky Babe. Out of the 8 archetypes that we explore, there are 2 that are most suppressed, most judged, and also most antagonized by society and ourselves. Now, one of them is Kinky Babe, which I'll be covering right now. And later on, I'll go into which one the other one is. So later down the track, a few weeks later. Kinky Babe is free. She's sexy. She's seductive. She is self-loving, self-appreciating. She is an adventurer. She loves to explore unfamiliar territory, and she's totally open to that. She's really open to being seen, and that's really, really important, because oftentimes we're wanting to hide, whether it's in a work situation, whether it's from family or relationships. We want to hide because there's a part of ourselves that we're not willing to accept. We don't want to embrace our flaws. Kinky Babe, she's totally fine with her flaws. Take it or leave it. This is how she comes. And she's so in her pleasure. She's so sensual and sexy and juicy and flowing with just love and sexuality, and she just draws you in. So that's Kinky Babe. Now, her essence is self-love. Her essence is exploration, and her essence is also creativity. Our sex center is our creative center. You know, we create babies. That's how they come. It's through creativity, and that sex center is so linked to creativity. So the more you suppress that, it's very hard to open your mind to creative ideas. It's very hard to express yourself creatively. So she's also about creativity. She's about fun and enjoyment and pleasure. You know, sex, just lots of sex. Lots and lots and lots of sex, self-pleasure, orgasm. Orgasm is her superpower. That's where she lies. She lies in the orgasm, and she can explore her orgasm. She doesn't have an unhealthy attitude towards her body or towards feeling worthy, feeling pleasure. There's oftentimes we attach a lot of guilt or shame about our sexuality, our sexual pleasure, or pleasure in general, and our desire to explore and experiment and experience new territory, you know. So Kinky Babe is unapologetic in her freedom of expression and pleasure. She is open, she is not afraid to be seen. She is sexy, juicy, seductive. You know, when you access Kinky Babe, it's like, you know, like when you've had either great sex or you've fallen in love and you have this ridiculously beaming smile all day long, and you're just walking around in this zone and you're just smiling and you're happy and you're open, and the way you see the world at that point in time, it's like everything is just glorious, you know. It's the colors are magnified, everything is alive. So Kinky Babe allows you to access that aliveness, and it's through that complete sexual pleasure and self-acceptance, touch, freedom, exploration, that she allows you to access that aliveness. Now, the most important thing about Kinky Babe and why she's so important is that I find everybody has an opinion on your body and your pleasure. There's the government, the media, religion, other people. Everyone seems to want to tell you how you should experience your body, how it should look, how it should be. Now, the only person that has any business talking about or thinking about your body is yourself. Let's look at the world, and let's look at how the world wants to control Kinky Babe, suppress her or judge her. There's slut shaming, there's genital mutilation, there is the porn industry that focuses not at all on feminine pleasure. Poor guys are out there completely oblivious to how a woman, how you're meant to connect with a woman, how it is that you're meant to give her pleasure. It's like really warped out there, and that is a problem. That's why Kinky Babe is so important. She takes responsibility for her own pleasure. She's able to articulate what it is that she wants, what gives her joy and pleasure, and she's able to be in that pleasure guilt-free. That's the most important thing. One of the people that I feel really tend to disengage with Kinky Babe are mothers. For some reason, I've seen this happen with a lot of my friends where once they become mothers, they start having a very different view of their body. They don't feel sexy. They judge themselves really harshly. They don't appreciate and embrace the changes that their body has been through. And rather than really starting to fully accept that, they're constantly at odds with it. They're resisting that change that their body has gone through. And therefore they disconnect from the Kinky Babe, that part of themselves that really is beautiful, sexy, alive, and wants to be seen. The other thing is that when they become mothers, it becomes about others and looking after your child. And oftentimes, have you heard of mother's guilt? Guilt tends to follow a mother. And guilt is completely the opposite of what Kinky Babe feels. Kinky Babe is full indulgence, juicy, luscious indulgence in pleasure, sex, freedom, you know, and guilt has no place in her vocabulary. So one of the main problems in this world, I find, is women feeling unworthy to experience life fully, in their full pleasure, simply because they find imperfections in themselves, especially in their bodies. So we're focusing today on the body. Of course, there are inner imperfections and flaws that we look for and we find, but I'm talking about not finding your hips are too wide or your boobs aren't big enough or whatever it may be. You're constantly focusing on the flaws. And then what that does is it starts making you feel like there's something to fix before you allow yourself to experience pleasure or joy or freedom or feel alive. And that's the problem. As soon as we feel that we are unworthy, we are not deserving of that full joy and pleasure, what we start to do is deny ourselves that. And then inevitably what happens is when you see somebody that's fully alive in their pleasure, enjoying life and really passionate and sensual and sexy, what do? We either judge them or we envy them. And that's the way women bring other women down. You know, they see that in other women, and because they're denying it within themselves, they start bringing other women down. Kinky Babe is your way to break free of all of that judgment and start to truly embrace yourself and accept yourself and start to experience life in its full joy and pleasure. I mean, you've got this body. You may as well make use of it. What are you waiting for? You know, so it's all about just being in, I don't know, it's all about just really being open to experiences, being accepting of who you are, seeing the beauty in yourself. Physically, I'm talking about. We're going to, I mean, it's easy to talk about, oh yeah, you're beautiful inside. No, I'm talking about outside. You're also beautiful outside. There's no other person like you in the world. There's nobody that has the exact same eyes as you or the exact same smile, the exact same body as you. So really start appreciating that part of yourself. Start looking in the mirror and experiencing that, the beauty in yourself. One of Kinky Babe's blind spots is that sometimes she gets so lost in pleasure. Pleasure becomes the be-all and end-all that she can possibly tend to ignore other aspects of life, you know, and getting caught up in that hedonistic way of being. There's a moment for that and there's a time for, to put that aside. And that's really important to understand. So that's one of the blind spots of Kinky Babe. So that's why it's really good to explore some of the other archetypes in conjunction with Kinky Babe. So somebody like Nurturing Babe is a beautiful one to explore as well, which we did last week. She's all about giving to others. Kinky Babe is very much about self and pleasure and really accessing that first. Here are 3 tips that you can use to bring Kinky Babe to life. Tip number 1, I recommend before you go to bed, look at yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes. Every night this week, try that out and really start looking at yourself as if you are looking at the most beautiful person on the planet. So start seeing the beauty in yourself. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is start exploring what gives you pleasure sexually. So really know your body, understand that, oh, I like this touch, or oh, that really turns me on. So really start understanding your body. And you can do this through many different ways. One is to possibly attend workshops, especially with tantric sex practices, sacred sexuality workshops as well that are out there. There's plenty available in Australia and I'm sure many other countries as well. So check some of those out, maybe get a massage, maybe just have some fun with your partner, have some play, do something different outside the box, you know. Explore uncharted territory in the bedroom. And my third recommendation is something that I feel very passionate about. I think that this is one of the most transformational things that a woman can do in order to truly tap into her sexuality and her sexual power unapologetically, and that is dancing eros. Look Dancing Eros up. That is all over Australia right now. It's the founder is Vanessa Florence, who explores 4 different archetypes through dance and sexuality, and it's erotic dancing, and it will get you right into your body and unleash something in you that is indescribable. So get onto the Dancing Eros community. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this will take the world by storm. It really allowed me to access parts of myself that, you know, that I thought were laying dormant. So check that out. Let me know how you all go, and yeah, I hope to see you at a Bollywood Babes class.